From the first time that I saw her, I knew she would be mine. Instantly it was obvious that our fates were intertwined. Never had I witnessed beauty so divine, and the moment I set eyes on her, I knew that neither time nor tide could keep me from my destiny. I could see it all unfolding. I had to show her what she meant to me. The depth of emotion I had felt at that moment of beholding, that blinding sense of revelation, that here at last I'd beheld the consummate constellation of all that is good and tender and true in this world that so often seems a crazed and cruel creation. And so my mind was made up immediately. One way or another we'd be together. We'd stand by each other faithful through every kind of weather. The rough and the smooth would mean nothing to us, and there would be no need to fuss if we just gazed in each other's eyes, held one another's hands, whispered love in each other's ears, were there to dry each other's tears, just knowing in a love this strong that wishes were commands. And so I set out to achieve my ends. In this I was aided by mutual friends who by happenstance threw a barbecue, to which we were both invited. Of course I was delighted, for I knew that this was confirmation that fate was intervening, that I hadn't been just dreaming, and that my heartfelt aspiration for once in a lifetime adoration was on target, true on track. The cards were falling into place. Fortune was calling. There was no turning back. And when we met for the first time, when we shook hands, said hello, I know she felt the electricity that sparked and crackled between her and me. I could see right then that she realized an unconscious awareness just behind her eyes, that the fairy tale she had heard for so long, the one celebrated in a million pop songs, that true love does exist and it will find the one with an open heart and mind, that was a tale that was told for a reason, and she was approaching a serendipitous season. I know she felt it then. Perhaps she didn't grasp it all, but deep inside she would hear the call. The question wasn't if, it was merely when. And she was modest, I could see, so she played coy and hard to get with me. And I approve, for I believe it's up to us as men to lead. Women need to be directed, just as they need to be protected. But I knew right then that she wanted me, and it was plain to see that she knew her place. She wanted the chase, liked to believe she could set the pace. So there really was no reason to worry nor frown when late in the evening she turned me down. I'd asked her for a date. She said thanks but no thanks, but she said it with the hint of a come-hither smile that would stand me in good stead for many a long mile. Which was just as well, for pursuit of your soulmate is not for the faint-hearted, though you may know in your soul that once the journey started, it's a one-way ticket, and there really is no choice but doggedly to stick with it. So I sent her boxes of chocolates and roses and other fine flowers, spent many long hours reading her Twitter and Facebook posts. She tried to defriend me, but befriended and knew me. And even her mail, for I'd located her home. So well I knew she lived there alone. I was like a friendly ghost benignly haunting her days and her night times too, sitting in my car just waiting and watching the everyday things she would do, wishing her well and a loving good night as she finally turned out that bedroom light. Yes, every day then was a red letter day, a getting to know her much better day. Even as she stopped answering my invitations, my devout dedication was only redoubled, and I was not troubled, for I knew that this proved she was chaste, a virtuous soul who needed someone who would take control, and that in my manliness I would make her whole. I had to make a plan, and though first I was confused, after time and preparation, helped by a space in my house I'd never used, and with some excavation, An overlooked cellar became a pleasure palace, a place where my love from her loneliness I'd save. And I refute later reports that it was a dingy cave. That hard-fought gestation was the manifestation of all of my love and my ardent veneration, of a blissful beauty that had captured my attention at first glance. I'd had no chance but to succumb to the dictates of devotion, like a trance perhaps induced by a psychoactive potion, or a mystery dance guided by a numinous notion. But how to get her to her shrine without causing a commotion? It all proved rather simple, or perhaps well organized. I certainly believe that I'm that kind of a guy. I ordered ether online, hired a tired panel van, was inspired by Ted Bundy, though I don't admire the man, and waited till a suitable time when she was walking past, while I, in a wig and a fake plaster cast, seemed to struggle with a suitcase, and she, while trying to help, permitted me to gently hold that fragrant rag to that beautiful face. When she awoke in her love nest, there was no doubt that she was impressed. Though she acted reluctant and scared, I knew deep down she knew that I cared. When we first made love, she played at being cold, but I knew if I kindled that smouldering fire, I'd spark true desire, and she'd not need to be shown what to do nor to be told. And I was right, as over time I grew in her affection, and the child that she bore me cemented our connection. It's strange how people can change. One day I left that door unlocked. What a mystifying tale she concocted for the cops, for she gave the impression that I'd committed a transgression, claimed I had treated her as my possession, said I was in the grip of a strange obsession. And yet, I still love her.